Good morning, my darlings. My name is Victoria and this is Veritas Tarot. I love to do readings for love, obviously love of another, but most importantly love for oneself, because you can't pour from an empty cup, hence my cup of tea tarot. And also in England, there's nothing that a good cup of tea and a chat with a friend can't solve. So this is our chance to have a cup of tea and a natter, a chat with Spirit, to see what messages they have for you. If the messages resonate, please do let me know in the comments section. And if they don't try and make it fit. There's lots of other amazing readers out there who may have a message for you at this time. I always feel that Spirit guides those that are meant to see these messages at exactly the right time for them, whether it be today, tomorrow, or in a year's time. So let's see what Spirit has to say for you, Saggy. I'm doing my Six of Cups soulmate reading. So we're going to see where you are in your headspace, in your heart space, where your soulmate is in their headspace and their heart space. And then we're going to have some advice from Spirit as well, some extra advice from Spirit. And then I'm going to pull an oracle card for you. So let's see where you are at the moment in your headspace. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Just one card. I like to just do one card. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And if I get too many and they get overexcited, we put them back and we just do one card. Thank you, thank you. One card, please, for Saggy. Thank you. You've got the High Priestess. So what's amazing, I mean, the High Priestess is, it's a beautiful card. And you come to the High Priestess state of mind when you've gone through a great deal of soul evolution, growing and evolving and learning. So, and you see here, this is sort of represented by the eclipse of the moon. So whatever's happened for you has been transformative. And you are now in this space. And you see here as well, she's dropping in what I like to call acorns, but she's dropping them into her cauldron. But it's got this ring of pearls, which represents the what you have gone through, the painful experience that you've gone through. But it has brought you to this place of peace and understanding how the universe works, the magic of the universe. It's brought you to a place of manifestation, and this is what these acorns represent. So you are dropping them in this cauldron, and you know that by being in this space of spiritual understanding and evolution and growth, that these manifestations will occur at the right time for you in divine timing. And so you're not worrying about them, you're letting them go, you're letting go of the who, what, where, when and how, and you are just being in the present moment. So that's, and you're very connected with Spirit here, with this purple here, which is your crown chakra, which is quite beautiful. You're also getting messages through music. So if you're hearing songs and bits of lyrics you may just pick up on the radio or something, something will resonate with you. Those are messages that you're receiving from your soulmate, and also from the universe as a whole. So let's see where you are in your heart space. Where is Saggy in their heart space? Thank you very much. So you have the Four of Swords, which is the healing. So you have, to get to there, you've had to go through, and you are going through this period of healing. Your heart was broken and it is now healing. And these things take a great deal of time. But you have felt very protected, and I'm getting as well that you just always knew. Do you see how they're resting on this cloud here? You've always known that you've learned that the universe is protecting you and looking after you, and you are receiving beautiful messages from them in this state. Your heart, you have whatever you have handled it from the heart space. And you have handled it not from, we all go through periods of anger and resentment and upset, but you've learnt to look at that and then let it go and come into this space of peace, and knowing that whatever's happened for you, you've understood that it has been something that has been a soul evolution journey. So, and I'm also being told that you know that there is healing when you heal your heart space, when you go through this period of coming to this place of peace and healing, you are also healing your soulmate's heart space, because you're so connected. And as I said that at the bottom of the deck, I get the Ace of Swords, which I always see as a yes card from the universe. Let's see how your soulmate is in their headspace. How is Sagittarius, his soulmate, in their headspace? Thank you. Too many cards. Thank you, thank you, thank you. There we go. So you have the Nine of Wands. So in their headspace, I believe they have come out of something that no longer serves them, or they are looking to step forward and come out of something that no longer serves them. They are being very much guided by their soul, by their intuition to do this. They have gone through, again, this sort of dark night of the soul. And I think they've had a lot of cycles of behavior, repetitive cycles that happen. So what happens is that God, the universe, always tries to, soulmates in particular are sent to help trigger us from these deep wounds that we tend to carry around, and because of them we have conditioned behaviors. And if we don't learn to observe and let go of them and learn to understand why it's happening and then let it go, what happens is that God, the universe, puts us in the same cycles over and over again until what I call, you get a big slap. So you get little slappings, then you get a great big slap. So they have come out of that cycles. I believe they've stepped forward from something. They are in a place of, I'm getting the word bewilderment, they're in a place of hurt, they're in a place of being quite defiant, quite protective of themselves, but they're also feeling very courageous because they've done something that is not normally their behavior. So they're slightly surprised that they've done it, but they're feeling proud of themselves, quite rightly, that they have done that. And they've put down this pentacle here, which is a shield, and they have, which means that they just don't want to fight anymore. Whatever situation they've been in, they've just had enough. They don't want to fight anymore, and they've stepped forward. So I think that's very beautiful to see that there. What's in their heart space for you? What's in their heart space? That flew out. So they have the King of Swords. So I love this King of Swords because he's not all gruff and all logical and everything. He has been enlightened. He does understand now. He understands contrasts. He understands what he doesn't want because he's experienced it, and he's also experienced what he does want. So I believe that he's there in that space of wanting to be fair and speak his truth. And he, his heart knows, and the fact that we had that Ace of Swords at the bottom of the deck, his heart knows. He's been guided. These are the winged messages here, but look at the light around his head. I mean, it's quite beautiful. He has utter clarity now in his heart about who he loves. And if he's going to do anything about it at all, I don't know. He's sitting there, he's not moving, but he knows, and that's the most important thing. He's had to go through these cycles over and over again to get to that clarity, and well done him, because he has shifted and changed. So let's see what advice from Spirit we have. Oh, that was very quick. We have the Ace of Wands. So there is something coming in for you, something that, wands are about our passions and desires, and I also see them as a sort of love. It's very much, we're guided by our feelings, and God talks to us through our feelings. And so whatever's coming in from you is being very divinely guided by the feelings of both yourself and the other. And it's something that is honest and truthful, and it has here the little olive leaves on it. So it's something that is coming with peace, and I love to see that there. It is a new beginning, and there's a little mountain there in the background. Whatever journey you have been on and your soulmate's been on, it hasn't all been kind of even. You've had to climb a few mountains, but I think it's very beautiful to have that. And look at the colour as well. Thank you, Spirit. Look at the colour here with the back and here. This is a message from your soulmate, and it's coming from their heart space. It's coming because they realise and it's their passions. And if you see here as well, I just want to go back to this card. This water is very clear. So however this is how they feel in their heart space, however they feel for you, this clarity and this truth has given them peace. The water is flat. It's not rough. They've come to that place of understanding. So that's very beautiful. I'm going to pull some of my Everyday Witch Tarot, which I really like. And we're going to clarify the High Priestess. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, that came out. So, yeah, do you remember I talked to you about, you've obviously gone through something that's been very, I don't think I used the word traumatic, but it's been, it really has evolved your soul because it's been very profound. So, clarifying the High Priestess, you've had the Tower. So you had to go through this Tower moment to get to where you are now. I know you're very grateful for this moment now because now you understand. And that's what's so beautiful to see. So you've come to that place of seeing the magic of the universe, understanding how it works, not feeling that fear or anxiety, being very grateful for everything you do have. And the Tower had to come down. And I see the Tower as conditioned behaviours and ways that you were handling your life that had to come down because you were trapped in that Tower and you couldn't see the way forward. And you know, you're looking back here. This is you looking back at, you know, what happened to you in your life, and you're understanding that this had to come in. So thank you, Spirit, for confirming that. Please confirm, please clarify the Four of Swords. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is what's in your headspace, Sagitt. Please clarify the Four of Swords. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Please clarify the Four of Swords. So you've got the Seven of Wands, and it's very lovely to see that card here. So during this healing process, you have you've woken up, you started to wake up, you started to understand that, as I said, that you are this High Priestess. You have the ability to create your own reality. And this has been very much part of how you've known that God has been protecting you, the angels have been protecting you, everything has been divinely guided. And you can see that here with this Seven of Wands. You know, this, look at your guidance around you, look at your spirit guides and your angels there. You know what the truth is, you know how to speak your truth, you know your boundaries, you think with your higher self, you're up here higher. And I kind of see this card as how do I explain this? You're getting a lot of attention. Sometimes it's not all good. Sometimes there's a bit of jealousy involved because people who are not waking up don't understand how you can be in this space of knowing. But you've put down, you see with this white rose here, you know, all of those materialistic beliefs and desires and everything, you don't need them anymore because you're standing in your place of truth. And I think that's so beautiful to see here, and that's what's come out of this reading. And you know, you're not engaging in, you choose not to engage in any negative energies around you. You understand that that's not for your highest good, and so you choose to stay in the space that you are in, which is the High Priestess, which is beautiful. So let's look at the Nine of Wands. This is where your soulmate is in their headspace. Bless them, they're a bit wounded at the moment. But you send them lots of love and light. Thank you. Yeah. They've come out of this Five of Wands, okay? So this is about confusion in their mind, it's about arguments, it's negative energy, it's repetitive behaviours, it's all those sort of things. Now, what I love about this card though, this Five of Wands, do you see this one person here has this wand and all the others are kind of fighting and they're not really listening to each other, and it's all just a bit of a squabble, a bit of a nonsense. This person, which is this person, has decided to step away from that and decided that they are not going to involve themselves in that anymore because they know that it is not something they want to do anymore. It does not make them happy. So they have stepped away, and I believe that they have stepped into that space of just like you, okay, just like you, choosing to say when they want to say something that is done from a space of peace, calm and love, but choosing not to react, not to be triggered anymore, not to have that sort of anger and resentment trigger them into doing things that they don't want to say and do. So I'm really pleased to see that there, because it really shows that how much they are evolving and learning and growing themselves from whatever relationship they are in. Now, I'm going to say, you know, if they are in another relationship, then Sagi, be grateful to that person, because that person has come in maybe a few times, maybe this is the first time, it doesn't really matter, because what God has done is brought that person into their lives to help heal a lot of conditioned behaviours, all of these conditioned behaviours behind, and it has allowed them to step forward and step away from those behaviours, because they're beginning to recognise doesn't make them happy. So be grateful to whoever has come into their lives, if there is somebody there that's helping them to do that. How they are in their heart space. Do you remember we had the King of Swords? Please confirm the King of Swords. Thank you. So we have the Merlin, so the Magician, and that's beautiful. So do you remember we talked about that they are being divinely guided and they are in this place of peace? That's because they've spent a lot of time going within and thinking, and I think this has been very difficult for them. You know, the King of Swords is not somebody who is terribly emotional. They're quite logical. They don't tend to give much away. They're very fair, they're very balanced, but they're quite protective of themselves, just like the Queen of Swords. But they've had some time to think, and here you see the snow here. It's sort of, the snow also is representative of some form of ending, but it's allowed them to go within. And I always love to see here as well, look how calm that water is. It's the same water that's here, but this water is now lighter because they had to go through this sort of dark night of the soul to get to this space where it's cleaner and brighter, and they kind of see it. And this is their souls being guiding them. So it takes a great amount of strength and courage to go within. It's a lot easier just to transfer, just like this Five of Wands, to transfer all your feelings about yourself onto somebody else, because it's much easier to do that and say it's their fault and blah, 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 rather than actually looking at why these things may have happened. And this is what they're doing. This is in their heart space. They felt that real pull to do that. And it's so lovely to see. And then advice from Spirit. Remember, you had the Ace of Wands. So let's have... Do you know what's so lovely? I've just noticed something, and I just have to say it as I see it. Do you see the bottom of his robe there is that sort of dark orange pattern? It's exactly the same as what's here. And it's probably on the end of his arms there too. But this is the message that's coming in from him. So I just wanted to confirm that with you. But let's just do an actual card on that. So please confirm the Ace of Wands. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please confirm the Ace of Wands. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. One card, please. Ace of Wands. Please clarify Ace of Wands. Thank you. Thank you. Lots of cards. Too many. I'm sorry. One more. One card, please, guys. Fly out for me. Thank you. So you have the King of Cups. So this is how he is in his heart space. Not terribly good about saying how he feels, but he has the clarity of how he feels, and he knows it brings him peace. This was to confirm the Ace of Wands. You've got the King of Cups. So the King of Cups, who feels a huge amount, very much a deep love and a deep passion. But again, he's not very good about saying it. So he's sitting there and he's he's got this little dolphin, which I kind of see as you. You're kind of doing your thing, you're playing, you're having a nice time. He's kind of pretending, he's ignoring it. But you're there, you're just doing your thing, you're going with the flow. And he is sitting in his emotions. You know, he's sitting there, he's allowing the water to come up and touch his feet there. And the thistle, I've just seen there, the thistle is about going through that spiritual awareness and growth at some things that have just been a bit, let's just call it prickly. You know, he's learned from things that have, I talk about a bramble bush, let's just say it's a thistle bush here, and that we all can spend so much time in our lives being caught up in these brambles and getting hurt by them. But it's like he's come away from that. He's come away from this 5 of Wands, and he stepped out of that bramble bush and looked at it, looked at what's happening in there and how to find his way through, because he doesn't want to be in there anymore. So I think that's very beautiful. He's still in that space of this is quite uncomfortable for him, but he knows this is what he wants to do. So I think that's very, very beautiful. What was I going to do now? I was going to clarify. No, I've done those clarifiers. I am now going to give you a card from Angels and Ancestors, which I love. This is the Oracle card for you. Please, a card for Saji. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Card for Saji. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And you've got Lady, enjoy growth and reap rewards. I mean, that's beautiful. So if we go back to the High Priestess here and how she's manifesting, because she knows just how magical the universe is, and just by having not just hope and belief, but knowing, you know, hope is one little bit down on the accelerator, belief is a bit more, and knowing is all the way down. So she knows that what's meant to come in for her greatest good will come in for her, because the universe always says yes. And this is the one about the Lady, enjoy growth and reap rewards. So this is very much a message for you, because you have gone through and evolved and have come to that place of understanding and knowing the universe always loves to give surprises and delights. It's all coming in for you, which is beautiful. And the apples don't just represent your manifestations, it's also about that knowledge that you have as well. And look how peaceful she is. And then you've got the snake here, which is about a rebirth, because the snake obviously sheds its skin. So, and everything she's doing, because she's dressed in green, everything she's doing from the heart. So quite a beautiful card. Thank you, Spirit, that was lovely. And I'm going to do one more card for you. I'm going to do my animal tarot deck, and let's just see if there's another final message for you from Spirit. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What last message do you have for Saji? Thank you. Too many cards. Too many cards. Thank you. Again, too many. Just one message, please. Wanted to come out. You have the Dreamer, which is the 0, and this is the sort of full card in the ordinary tarot. And you have here the Shepherd Puppy. You are starting a new adventure. Run free and take a leap of faith. So how fabulous is that? And so you have here the butterflies, which represent the transformation that you have gone through. And you have the river here, which is always about going with the flow and not using oars, which are sort of trying to control things, but going with the flow and knowing that your best friend, whether it's this puppy or whatever, your best friend is your soul, who's down that river, who's already arranged everything for you. And it's very much guided. You've got the sort of fairies here as well. And you see here, he's got this little sack here, he's got on his stick. And that's about all the untapped spiritual knowledge that you still to learn, because we learn, evolve, remember, as I call it, every day. We never stop learning. So, and it's about doing it, which you are doing it, in a very joyful, happy way, and having such joy out of just all the little surprises and delights that you get every day. and that you're being your best friend as well, because that's also what dogs represent. So Saji, I hope you enjoyed that reading. I'd love to hear any comments if you have any. If you'd like a personal reading, do please get in contact. I'm offering a special rate at the moment, and I wish you the very best of weeks, and I look forward to seeing you in a week's time for another cup of tea and a natter with spirit. Take care, my darlings.